welcome everybody. Welcome to Speak, Coach, and Write Your Way to Millions webinar. I am so excited that you have joined us here tonight. I'm going to tell you, we are going to have an absolute blast. And as we get started, first of all, I want to ask you a question, all right? Do you want to be used by God to make a huge difference in other people's lives? Hey, if that's you, and if you say yes, I want you to do me a favor right now, down in the chat. I want you to type the word yes. Come on, let's get going. If you want to make a difference, I see that. Thank you, Jeff. I see you there. I see you, Eddie. I see you, Deborah. Yes. I see you, Lorna. I see you. Yes. Awesome. I see you, Marna. I see you from Square One. Awesome. I see you. Yes. Who else? Everybody. I want to see those of you who want to make a difference. Sherry D is saying yes. Oh, awesome. Janice is saying yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. I know that's why you're connected here, because you really know that the greatest level of fulfillment in life is knowing that you've been used to touch other people's lives. Now, let me ask you another question. Do you want to make a fortune helping others? If that's you, I want you to put yes down below. Come on, let's do it. Do you want to make a fortune helping others and making a difference in other people's lives? If you do, come on, join in with us and just put yes down below. So awesome. I see you coming on. That's right. All right, this is awesome. Look at all those posts. Come on, don't just sit in the background. Get down there and say yes. This is not just a setback and consume. This is something to participate in. So if that's you, you say, yes, I want to make a fortune. Go ahead and put yes down in the chat and affirm what you want to do in your heart. So the last thing is, how about this one? You want to make a difference and you want to make a fortune. If you want to do both, see, a lot of people, they're either one-sided. Either, you got these people who are in this industry and all they want to do is make a bunch of money and they don't really want to change anybody's life. Then you also got other people on the other side, who all they want to do is, man, I have a great heart to change people's lives, but they don't get the fact that they need to make a fortune to do it so they can help change more people's lives. So if you want to say with me, yes, Dr. J, I want to do both. I want to see you post down there. I'm looking. Oh, so somebody's saying yes. Yes, come on, post on down there. If you're watching by way of Facebook and the other different channels, go ahead right now and just put yes down in the chat. Now, my question is, are you ready to learn how to do it? Do you want to learn how to do it? If that's you, go ahead one more time and just say yes. I remember years ago, I wanted to make a huge difference. I wanted to touch and impact people's lives. As a matter of fact, I had a vision of me speaking on huge stages. I saw me being on television and radio. I saw me writing books, and I saw me traveling around the world in my early 20s. And to be honest with you, I thought, wow, that's really over the top. And I thought I was going a little crazy, to be honest with you. I'm like, me? How could I ever possibly be able to do something like this? I mean, at the time, I was 24 years old. I could barely read. I could barely write, honestly. I'd never read an entire book from cover to cover in my whole life. So the thoughts of me speaking in big stadiums, the thought of me writing books, the thought of me being on television, radio, that seems so over the top. And one of the things that I've learned is that Sometimes your revelation will be bigger than your situation. I'm going to tell you, when it's a God-sized dream, it will always be bigger, way bigger than what you even think that you can accomplish. And see, my friend, God looks at our divine potential, not who we are today, but who we could become. So I remember in my early 20s, I set out, man, I mustered up all the confidence I could. I'll never forget my first speech in a little country church to, what was it, about 10 little old ladies. I was so nervous. I'll never forget it. Before the service started, the pastor asked me to preach a little sermon that night, and it's just a little tiny church, a few little old ladies there, but I was like 27 years old, 26 years old, something like that. I was so nervous. I went back to the bathroom. And my stomach was all in knots, and I'm on the bathroom going, oh, I'm sweating, and I look out the window. I looked out the window in the bathroom of the church, and there was this little tiny window, and I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna try to crawl out of that window. So I got to get out of this church. I can't do this. It was so funny. And pretty soon, here come knocking on the door, and it was the preacher. Hey, are you going to come out of there? And I basically didn't have a choice. And man, I'll tell you what, that was, it's the number one thing people fear is a fear of speaking. And so I didn't start off super confident in this whatsoever, but you know what? I went forward and I did what I felt that was my calling. And I believe that speaking, coaching, and writing, it's not just something that we just say, oh man, I think I want to do that. No, I think it's a calling on our life. And I don't think it's by accident that you're watching and participating today, because somewhere inside of you, there's a desire to speak, to coach, to write, to make a difference. And see, I believe that desire reveals your design. An eagle desires to fly, therefore God designed the eagle so that it could fly. In the same way, God designed a fish to swim, so the fish has a desire. It longs to swim. And in the same way, I believe that those desires that you have in your heart to speak, to coach, I believe that those are signs or signals to you of the divine possibilities of what you could become, of what you could do. And I know, like me, I mean, your mind may argue it and say, man, I don't know. And you've argued, you tossed back and forth, and you've convinced yourself and sold yourself on the fact that you can't do it, and I don't know how, and I don't have anybody to help me. I know all those thoughts. I walked through many of those thoughts, and I journeyed out. I had my wife, but I really didn't have any support. As a matter of fact, it almost felt like when I first started, it was like everybody was against me. The people that I thought should be supporting me, people in the church, pastors and leaders that I thought would be encouraging to me, that would help me, in many ways, they didn't help me. A lot of them ended up hurting me. And so as I took off and headed out to my journey, I made a lot of mistakes. I made 3 key mistakes. I call them the 3 M's. And I'll just outline them too. I use one word: mentor, 2, multiply. The 3rd mistake was more. Let me break that down for you. The 3 big mistakes I made on my journey, because as I journeyed out to fulfill this calling, I failed miserably. I failed at really touching people's lives. I failed at bringing in the resources that I needed to be able to take care of my wife, my family. I remember things got so bad. I failed so bad. My wife and I, we were $180,000 in credit card debt, $20,000 upside down on my car that had over 100,000 miles on it. We had to move in actually to my mother-in-law's. Things got so bad I had to move into my mother-in-law's house. And I'm telling you what, right there, that's defined as hell on earth, right? and I failed miserably in my pursuit. And there's 3 reasons why I failed. And number 1, I'll start off with mentoring. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have anybody at all that was there to help me. My wife prayed for me. My wife said encouraging words, but she had never been down that path herself. And one of the things that mentors do for us is mentors have already been there and done that. And so because they have already been there and done that, they can help us go there and do that also, and possibly even go beyond what the mentor was able to do. That's a beautiful thing to have happen. And so I never had a mentor. I wanted it. I reached for it, but it always seemed like everybody was too busy. And eventually I just gave up and figured, well, I'm just going to figure this out on my own. And I was young and in my 20s and in my 30s. And I had lots of testosterone. I had a lot of energy. And I did my very best. But man, I'm telling you, I made so many mistakes simply because I didn't have a mentor. And when I look out there in the world, a lot of speakers, a lot of coaches, a lot of authors, a lot of them are experience failure. A lot of them, they don't make a whole lot of money, to be quite honest with you, simply because they don't realize it, but they're doing a lot of things wrong. And they just don't have anybody speak into their life. And so I needed to shrink my ego. I had a big ego. I have to admit it. I thought, hey, I got this. I can do this. I know what to do. The ego says, I know what to do. I got this. I can do it on my own. And I'm telling you, there's so many renegade speakers, authors, and coaches out there. I can do it on my own, but yet they're broke. And what I had to do in my mother-in-law's house in my crisis has a wonderful way to shrink your ego. and here's what I found. The smaller the ego, the bigger the bank account, right? The bigger the ego, I know how to do this. I don't need any help. The bigger the ego, guess what? The smaller the bank account. And so that was my first mistake, and crisis really woke me up. And I humbled myself, and I got serious in my life about paying whatever cost that it took to get the right mentors in my life. And you're going to see in just a little bit. Some of the mentors that God brought in my life, it's just mind-blowing. A guy like me who was a complete sinner, who had no connections whatsoever in the church, how God brought me some of the greatest leaders in Christendom to help me, to get me to build the brand of America's #1 confidence coach. The second mistake that I made in my journey is I only had one source of income. I was trying to build on just one revenue of income called my speaking. So as long as I was speaking somewhere, revenue was coming in, but it was limited because I only had one stream. You see, a pond only has one stream that feeds it. But a lake has multiple streams that feed it. That's the difference between the poor and the rich. Poor people only have one stream. That's why they have a small little pond versus wealthy people. Wealthy people understand I've got to have multiple sources of income coming into my life so that I can have a lake of wealth. So if one stream dries up, guess what? I've got some other streams. So the year where I had to move into my mother-in-law's house is right after September 11th. And if you remember, our country came to an immediate standstill. Nobody was traveling. Nobody was having meetings. Everybody was afraid. It was kind of like this COVID-19 situation. And everything stopped. And all my speaking engagements just fell apart. And no income was coming in. And my mistake was I only built a revenue source in speaking. And what I realized out of that is like, wow, I can't just be a speaker. I need to add on additional streams. And in 83K Academy that I created, I teach you how to build 8 different streams in the expert industry, so that what happens is if one dries up, you can always have other streams. And you see, if we only have one stream, we limit God and how he can bless us. But if we have multiple streams, it opens us up to being able, for God to be able to bless us in different areas. And the final thing was more. And when I say more, I realized the biggest mistake that I made was that I was not a possibility thinker. I had limited belief systems, not about what God could do. I had limited belief systems about what was possible for me. And the day that changed my life was the day that I became a possibility thinker. You say, what is a possibility thinker? A possibility thinker is a person who believes that they can be more, that they can do more, that they can have more, that they can help more people. Possibility thinkers think more. I wasn't thinking more. I was looking at other people. I would look at people like John Maxwell or Joyce Myers or T.D. Jakes or John Maxwell, and I look at them and say, wow, they can do it, but I didn't believe I could do it. I looked at those kind of people and I thought that they were something special, that maybe God sprinkled a special Dixie dust on them and just showered them with special favor, and that they had it and I didn't get any of it. And boy, I'll tell you what, I started to realize in that crisis, this one thought: if anybody in the world can do something, I can do it too. If John Maxwell can do it, I can do it too. If Miles Monroe could do it, I can do it too. I just simply have to learn the methods. I have to develop the skill sets. I have to get the knowledge, because anything I don't have is because of something I don't know. So I just got to get the mentorship, right? I just got to get the education. I just got to get the training. I just got to get close to those people who are where I need to go, because proximity is power. And once I started to realize my own demise, I started to make some serious changes, and God started to turn my life around very, very fast when I realized that the greatest hindrance that was keeping me back was me. How many of you feel like in your life you've held yourself back? If that's you, I want you just to post down below, yes. Let's all just have a come to Jesus moment. Can we do that? Can we do that? Come on, let's all be honest. Hey, I'm being honest with you. Thank you, all the people. I see you posting down below. Yeah, I made some big mistakes. But the day I changed and said, I can be more than who I am today. I can do more than what I'm doing today. I can have more than what I have today. And ultimately, I can help more people than who I'm helping today. That was the day I became a possibility thinker. And my friend, I have not stopped being a possibility thinker. It never stops, no matter how high of a level of achievement that you make, you still press for more, because when you stop growing, you start dying, my friend. Wow. So these things changed my life, and I made a decision that I was going to invest. The greatest decision I made is I made a decision I was going to invest in developing my skills in what's called the expert industry. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. But as I begin to develop my skills and learn and grow my speaking skills, my coaching skills, and learning how to write, it was a total game changer for me. As a matter of fact, I would like to just show you some things that happened. So here I am. I'm stuck in my mother-in-law's house. Nobody knows me. There's no books. There's no television. There's television offers. There's none of that. I only had one thing. I only had a dream. That's all I had. I remember I had a dream that one day I would speak for the largest business seminar company in the world. As you see this stadium here, there's a company called Get Motivated Business Seminars. And I remember I was way back in the very back, way up in the top in the stadium. And I said, wow, if I could just speak for them someday. I prayed a little prayer. And you know, that dream came true. And I toured with Get Motivated for a whole year, and we spoke to over 100,000 people. See, I'm just telling you this not to brag, but I'm telling you to inspire you, to fire you up to what's possible. Hey, I was a guy that flunked kindergarten. I was the guy, I couldn't read and couldn't write by the time I'm 24. I was the guy that was sitting on the toilet at the little country church because I couldn't speak to 10 women. And I'm just here to tell you that if I can do this, you can do this. And if you've had a desire in your heart, it's possible if you'll just become a possibility thinker. Here's my friend right here. Les Brown's on the right, Willie Jolly on the left, Willie Jolly's on the right. Les Brown, the number one motivational speaker in the world. And we traveled together. They called us the Three Musketeers. And it was so awesome being with him and got coaching from him. I mean, I was so blessed. Think about it. I mean, here I am being coached by the world's number one motivational speaker in the world. It's been amazing. A lot of things that I teach in 83K Academy, I learned from this guy. Here's another picture of me speaking in a church. And I remember I wanted to speak in places in Asia. And I had that dream that I would speak to thousands and thousands of people in Asia. And here's a crowd in Asia where people are responding to the call to be change agents in the world. And you see the response. It's just absolutely amazing. That's in Indonesia at the Holy Stadium. So here I am, everybody. I'm just a guy who was born and raised in Huntertown, Indiana, a little tiny farming town in Indiana, and I'm speaking at some of the biggest churches and the biggest business seminars literally in the world. And I started out not believing that I could do it. I also always wanted to be on TV, on Fox Business News. That was one of my go-to places that I like to listen to a lot. And there I am on Fox Business News talking about my new book. Here's another mentor that came into my life. I remember I prayed a prayer and I said, I want to be mentored by the Chicken Soup for the Soul guys. These are the authors, Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield. And they coached me. I wanted to get a book deal with Penguin Books. Penguin Books is the second largest publisher in the world. And that's me on the right holding up my contract. Yeah, I had darker hair. I didn't have any gray hair back then. And I was so happy that day I signed that contract. And they actually gave me an advance. They paid me thousands of dollars to write a book. And it's all because I got mentoring from literally the best two authors in the world, Guinness Book of World Records. Isn't that amazing? If you think that's amazing, just type yes down in the chat, would you? Isn't that amazing what God can do with somebody's life? Now, later on, I started coaching other people. In 2014, I started coaching other people on how to build their coaching businesses. And now in 83K Academy, not only do I teach people how to build coaching businesses, now I'm teaching you how to be a speaker, how to be a coach, and a best-selling author. But here's one of the guys, his name is Martijn, and he came from South Africa. He had only a few $100s in his pocket. He came over and he went through my whole confidence coaching training, my certification program, just the same teaching that I teach in 83K and the same program that I coach people all over the world with. And I want you to hear what this guy has to say. It's quite remarkable of how he became a multimillionaire. I love it because you see there that he's driving in his Maserati. I love it. It's a great car. Let's listen to him for a minute.
Hi, my name is Martijn van Tilborg. I'm the owner of Four Rivers Media. We come alongside influencers to help bring their message to market. And we started our company in 2008. It was definitely a day of small beginnings. And we grew out to be a multi-million-dollar company, specifically doing business in the Christian space, helping Christian leaders bring their message to market. And along the way, I met somebody named Dr. Keith Johnson, and I just wanted to give him a shout out today. Keith Johnson has been a tremendous blessing. He is a godsend. I always look back to the 12 years that we've been in business, and there's different phases of growth that I can identify. And at the foundation of every growth spurt was a strategic alliance. And I can truthfully say that the relationship with Keith Johnson has been such a relationship. He's been a mentor, he's been a coach. His teaching has inspired me to think bigger. His coaching program has helped me to see beyond my current circumstance into the future. And it has definitely helped me grow the company. And you know, besides the favor of the Lord, Keith really has helped me become who we are today. And for that, I want to thank you. And I want to encourage everybody to check him out, find out what he stands for. He brings tremendous value. He's an out-of-the-box thinker. He is somebody that doesn't think small. So if comfort and small thinking and safety is your forte, don't do anything with him, because he's definitely going to get you out of your comfort zone. But as he does that, you'll experience something that you probably haven't experienced before. He's a great guy. You're going to love him, and I encourage you to connect with him. Keith, you're a blessing, man.
Wow, thank you, Martin. That's so awesome. So here's a guy that at one point he looked and said, man, I don't know if I could ever be like Keith, who's now gone way beyond me. And to me, that's one of the greatest testaments, to see students that I've poured into, that I've mentored, do better, go farther than what I've gone. And I celebrate those. And I'm so proud of him. Here's another guy. It's just be interesting because some of you may be pastors, maybe in the ministry. Here's Pastor Adam Davis. He pastors a church called Elevate in Monroe, Michigan. And he was just a pastor, made an average salary. He came down. He got trained by me on how to develop his coaching business. And he increased his income by $40,000 a year. So just a regular pastor, and he's making money, and I think he's even making more now. This was the last news that I got, and he was telling me of other things that's going on in his life. It's so amazing to see what he's done there. Here's another guy he was just working on the police force. His name's Andy Harvey. He was just working on the police force, and it was pretty amazing. He started growing, he got confidence, and now he became a chief. So that's really neat. And then out of that, he wrote a book called Excellence in Policing. I'm so very proud of this guy. And during all the riots and everything, he was being interviewed on major television networks because he's Latino, and he was given his perspective of police brutality and all the dynamics that have been going on with that. And man, he's just exploded, and other police departments hire him to come teach their police officers on excellence in policing. So I'm so proud of him and what he's been able to do. And you know, the list can just go on and on and on of with this. But what I want to do is I mentioned that when I made my change, I started learning about the expert industry. I made mention of that. So what is that exactly? And I want to teach you this tonight. If you got something to write with, if you want to put it on your iPad or whatever, the expert industry is a caring community of people who share their advice, knowledge, and coaching skills with the world and get paid for it. So I want you to look at that. The expert industry is a caring community, meaning we care about people more than we care about making money. Now, we're not ashamed about making money, but it's out of the right heart. It's out of the right spirit. We care for others, and we sincerely want to help others heal their pains, get over their hurdles, and achieve their divine destiny. And what we do as a community is we share our advice. We share our knowledge. We share our coaching skills. We're adding value to other people. And as we add value to other people, what we find out is they add value back to us. Now, I want to teach you this because I mentioned at the beginning that we want to make a difference and we want to make a fortune. And it's important mentally that you marry those two together. All right? So I want you to say this with me. I need to marry making a difference and making a fortune together. You don't need to divorce them. I can only do this or I can only do this. That's the difference between the rich and the poor. Poor people think either or. If I want to make a difference, I can't be worried about making money. Or if I'm making money, I can't make a difference. No. Rich people think I can do both. All right? And that's what we all really want to do. So how do we make a difference? And how do we make a fortune? This is my triangle on how we do it. Well, first of all, we do that with our story. Yeah, your story. Now, the number one tool you have to changing people's lives is your past. Yep, it's your past. And so many people don't realize that your story of how you have conquered and overcome something, how life has punched you in the face. Come on, right? How life handed you a lemon, you took that lemon and you squeezed it and you made what? Lemonade. But then we teach, don't stop there in 83K Academy. Take that lemonade and sell it for a profit, right? So your story has tremendous value, because your story is how you have overcome. We overcome the enemy by the word of our testimony, by our story. And your story is the tool that you have to destroy other people's stories. You see, everybody has a story that they have of why they can't become something, why they can't do something, why they can't have something, why they can't help others. Everybody's got a story of why they're where they're at in their life, until you come along and you tell your story, how you had the same thing happen, maybe even worse. And you tell people, wait a minute, I couldn't read when I was 24 years old. I flunked kindergarten, yet I became a best-selling author, right? Now see, what did that story do? It just interrupted. It just destroyed. It just pulled down your story, because now you have to say, wait a minute, I could read and write when I was 24. Wait a minute, I didn't flunk kindergarten. He did it. So now I just destroyed your story that you can't become an author. And see, your story has tremendous value for changing people's lives, making a difference, and making a fortune. Watch this. My past has tremendous value to create a fortune for my future. I love that quote. I love that quote. My past has tremendous value to create a fortune for my future. Many people are praying to God, God, give me $1 million, and they don't even realize you already have millions in value, that your story is worth millions. And now we got to take that story. We got to make it clear. We got to turn that story into a message, into books and products and materials and coaching programs, so that you can take that wonderful story of your life and create something absolutely beautiful out of it. So in order to make a difference and a fortune, it all starts with getting really clear on your message. And that's where you need a mentor. I remember with me, I promise you, I'd tell you how I built America's #1 confidence coaching brand. And I got a coach, and I'll never forget, I was sitting in the living room, and in kind of like a chair like this. And the coach was in one chair, my wife was in the other chair. And I just simply asked the two of them, hey, what's my greatest strength? And the coach said, well, you know what? I've been around you for a while. When I get around you, I feel confident. Like, really? Then my wife popped up and she said, that's exactly why I married you. I was feeling so insecure in that time of my life, but just being around you made me feel confident. And that day, my message became razor sharp, that I would become America's #1 confidence coach. And that's the key. You see, you cannot make penetration into the global market with a rounded arrow. Your arrow has to be razor sharp. Your message has to be razor sharp. And you can't get it razor sharp on your own. One of the biggest mistakes I see speakers, coaches, and authors make is again, ego gets in the way, and it says, oh, I can teach on everything. Oh, I can talk on a lot of different subjects. Yeah, well, yeah, you got a rounded arrow. That's why you're not any good at anything, really. You're mediocre. The truth is you're mediocre on a lot of different subjects. You're not an expert. This is an expert business. That means you know more about your subject matter than anybody in the world. You can stand with the top 2% of people in the world. That's where I want to get you to. But you got to get razor sharp, and that's where you got to realize that you can get paid for sharing your story, your advice, your how-to information that helps others succeed in this expert industry. And that's where the second point is. It's knowledge. You're sharing your knowledge, your insight of what you know that nobody else knows, because you've researched, you've studied, you've experienced something that other people have not experienced, and that your story plus your knowledge of what you know becomes so valuable to making a difference and making a fortune. And then the next thing is your experience. It was the experience that you experienced. Nobody else experienced this. So your experience is from your angle, from your take of how you've experienced it. So these three things, your story, your knowledge, your personal years of experience of working in an industry, is what makes you an expert. And when you become an expert, you earn an expert's wage. So if you're tired of not making much money, it's because you're not an expert. And sadly, too many people are stuck in their job that they hate. And that's sad. And what you need to do, if that's you're feeling a sense of transition, is you need to begin. Don't leave your job, stay with your job, but begin to get the training, the education, and begin to do the work that's necessary to prepare you to move into the expert industry, to be a speaker, a coach, and an author. And through 83K Academy, we can do that. God put this on my heart at the beginning of the year to start mentoring people in all three areas, not just coaching, but in all three areas. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I'm like, how can this happen? I don't have time. I'm running around the whole world. But sure enough, as the pandemic hit, I thought, wow, now's my opportunity to mentor people. And it's been so awesome. I'm doing 3 classes a year, and a new class is coming up at the end of this month. And I take you by the hand. It's pretty cool. I literally take you by the hand, because one of the things that I do in 83K Academy, I set this up just to help build expert empires, to help you build an expert empire. We call it 83K Academy because $83,000 a month is what you need to generate to make $1 million in a year. It takes 83K. So that's your big goal, $1 million a year. And trust me, there's people in this industry that's making that. I mean, that's not a far-fetched goal. 83,000 a year. Now you may not start off that way, but you shoot for the moon. Worst you land on, you shoot for the stars. Worst you do is land on the moon, right? But maybe your first year you set a goal of 83,000. You could do 83,000 a year, start off. 10 years, that's $1 million, right? So we help people. We shoot for $1 million. 1 million, that's your first goal, okay? Whether you do that inside of a year, 5 years, or a 10-year period. Now, one of the things you're going to need is a blueprint on how to do it. That's what I lacked. I didn't have the blueprint. I searched and searched, tried to get mentorship, tried to get help, tried to figure out exactly how I do this. You don't build anything unless you have a blueprint. And right here on my Corvette here, this is my blueprint of my house. And man, the amount of time that it takes to lay out the blueprint, it's an incredible amount of time, right? They just built my house with blocks and the wood and laid out all the walls. It only took them a month to do that. but it took us 3 months to get the blueprints just right, to lay out the foundation just right. And so you don't go into the woods unless you have a map. If you don't have a map when you go in the woods, I'm going to tell you, I did that before. I never had a map. And with my youth and my energy, I charged the woods. And guess what I did? I hit my head on a lot of trees. And not only did I hit my head on a lot of trees, I hit my staff and my team. We went blindly into the woods with no map. And I had to face a lot of pain that I didn't need to face, and went through a lot of failures I didn't have to experience. So I created a map, and how I set up 83K Academy. It's a 90-day mentoring program. I just want to show you this real quick, and then I'm going to go into another teaching here. It's a 90-day mentoring program where what I do is the first 30 days, I teach you how to be a life, leadership, church growth, and business coach. So the first 30 days is my Life Coaching Certification Academy, where you'll actually get a certification in life, leadership, church growth, and business coaching. All 4 of those in 30 days. And then the second 30 days, I then take you into my Wealthy Writers Weekend Experience, where for the next 30 days, I teach you how to be a best-selling author. Then the last 30 days, right, I take you through Speaking for a Change on how to become a world-class communicator. So what you will experience is Monday through Friday, 1 hour a day. That's all we ask. If you want to be a part of it, 1 hour a day, you watch a video live on the internet. You get your training 1 hour a day, Monday through Friday. Then on Saturday, I do a personal coaching call with a small group of people. And on Saturday, you can ask questions about that week. You get coaching and all that on Saturday. And we do it first thing in the morning so you can get out and enjoy your day. So we start at 8 o'clock in the morning. And you can come and just ask me any question. And I stay with you the whole 90 days. And it's really an exciting program. And you see here all the levels of certification. You get 4 levels of certification as a life coach. And what I do is I literally give you confidence because I take my 25 years of experience. Here's the neat thing. My 25 years of experience in this industry, and I give you all my tools. See, it can seem like a big mountain to climb if you have no tools. But I give you all my coaching tools. I give you all my coaching programs. I give you literally everything I have, because this to me is a calling. My job is a mentor, is to give you everything that you need so that you will succeed. So you'll have confidence and you'll make money, and then you'll make an impact. So that's what this is. That's what this program is all about. So 90 days, 30, 30, 30. Coaching, writing, speaking. Then I'm throwing in all these special bonuses to help you. Number one, what I just talked about, we do live group coaching every Saturday with question and answers and problem-solving sessions. It's a $10,000 value. I open up my Wealth Vault online, which has literally everything that I taught on leadership, confidence, and wealth. Then you become a member of Wealth Tribe. That's a $1,200 value, where we bring in kingdom millionaires to teach you and to train you. Wealth Tribe is an amazing, amazing platform and program. Inside of that, we have my whole confidence coaching experience, my 66 days of helping you build your confidence. We also have my Living Wealthy experience, my whole program that teaches you how to live a wealthy lifestyle. Amazing, amazing program, another box. And then I have my leadership training on how to be a leader on the 7 spheres of society, how to influence other people and change other people's lives. Powerful, powerful training that's involved here. So, man, we've stacked it up. Just in training alone on that site is a $10,000 value. So you see, this is, I'm really serious about helping you succeed, okay? And finally, the fourth bonus that we're adding in on this is all free stuff given you if you want to become part of 83K Academy and become and be mentored by me, you know. And what we do is at the end of the 90 days, I'm throwing this in for free. It's $10,000. I charge $10,000 to coach people. And so the fourth bonus is a one-on-one consulting with me after you're all done. So after you're all done, you go through all this. We have a small group coaching program on Saturdays. And then at the end, I just take you to the side and you get a one-day, you get a coaching time with me on a Saturday, okay? So that's how that works, and that's a 2-hour coaching time, okay? So I just want to be clear on that. So that's everything that we thought. Then I thought, man, I'm going to throw in one more thing, and we just developed this millionaire strategy guide where during COVID-19, I called all my millionaire friends together, and I said, man, we need to learn some things about how to experience a financial comeback. And man, I'm going to tell you, there's some amazing guys. Rabbi Daniel Lapin, who wrote Thou Shalt Prosper's on there. John Kelly's on there. The Enemy Called Average. John Mason's on there. Bob Harrison's on there. Dr. Increase. I mean, there's so many people on there. Rob Thompson. Oh man, amazing people. I could go on and on and on about many of these people, but we don't have time tonight. So let me just look. We keep getting a lot of the same questions, and people say, "Can I do this?" Yes. Yes. This whole thing has been trying to show you that if I can do it, you can do it too. Yes, you can do this. But it's going to take a belief in yourself. That's where it starts. You have big beliefs in God, but you got to believe in you. All right? And all you need is a little bit of knowledge. You need to build some skills. You need some mentoring. And so we're here to support you. I'm here to help you become successful. And we know that if I help others, right, what you make happen for others, see, God makes happen for you. That's how this thing works. Here's a couple right here. You say, can I do this? This couple, LeJean and Valora, when I first met them, they were pastoring a little tiny church. The church was about as big as your living room, and they had just a handful of people, and they came out to be trained in my life coaching certification academy. And today, after they went through that program, today now they've traveled to 80 cities, 23 countries. They have 4 books published, and they're so cute. They traveled around together. They're a team. They have 4 books, and they pastor 3 churches now. Isn't that so cool? I mean, so it's just amazing how you know, at the time they were in college and what God's done in their life. It's just so amazing. So the answer is yes. Yes, you can do this. Am I smart enough? Did you flunk kindergarten? Did you? If you didn't flunk kindergarten, yes, you are smart enough. Is the timing right? Yes. In the middle of crisis, that's when my business has always thrived. When everything's going great, people don't think they need coaches. Right now, I'm fielding more calls than ever before because people need coaches. This is a great time. This is a time to prepare. And I'm going to tell you, over these next few years, the coaching industry is just going to expand and continue to grow. Is it going to cost me? Was the next question. The answer is yes. Yes, something that doesn't cost you. What you get for free, you don't pay the price for, right? But here's what I'm going to tell you. this 83K Academy, it is going to cost you, but I'm going to tell you, all of the stuff I just gave you is about a $50,000 in bonuses. And when you find out how much 83K Academy is, your jaw is going to drop. You're going to go, what? Because I have done everything I can do to make this training as affordable as possible. And one of the things that we want you to know is that you got to apply. So I don't accept just anybody. We only take a handful of people every quarter and train them. So you got to apply. You got to fill out a small application. You're going to need to do that tonight. We only have a few more slots open. So if you're interested in doing that, you're going to want to do it tonight. We'll be looking over those tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be looking over those. You need to book a time, and we're going to talk with you. And if it seems like a good fit, then we are going to continue on with you. So that's some of the questions that we always get asked during this program about becoming a speaker and a coach and an author. And I thought I would just share a few of those with you tonight and answer some of those questions so we don't have to continue. Now, if you had some other questions, if you look over on the right inside of there's a question and answer program. And if you want to be a part of this, tonight what you need to do is go to 83kacademy.com. Down in the chat below, you'll see that Sherry D has posted that link for you, 83kacademy.com. Now, what are some of the benefits? You might say, well, why should I become a speaker, a coach, or an author? Well, let me give you just a few. Number one is you'll be used by God to change people's lives. That's number one. The most fulfilling thing I receive is when people come up with tears in their eyes saying, your message touched me, you inspired me. When I get emails of people saying, I don't know what I'd do if I didn't read your book. Your coaching has transformed my life. My life is different. My family's different. There's no price for that kind of stuff. And the other benefit is when you write books, your books will go places that you won't even be able to go. It amazes me when I get letters from Switzerland and I get places in Nigeria. I don't even know where these places are, and in Africa and Asia and Russia and prisons. And I read your book. It changed my life. It's just amazing. The other advantages is being a coach is your clients. I teach you how to have your clients fly to you. And I teach you how to have your coaching sessions in exotic places. So when people come to get a day of coaching with me, they fly into the resort on Clearwater Beach and they pay my hotel. I go down there, I chill out on a nice view of the Gulf up on a suite. And not only do I coach and help people, but I get to enjoy a beautiful, beautiful scenery. This coaching industry is so cool. I mean, people pay to have you come and fly to them and stay in nice hotels and they spoil you. I mean, that's just part of what this industry is all about. It put a little weight on you too. So you got to be careful with that. And so the other neat thing is you can coach right. The other neat thing is you don't have to go anywhere. Right? You can coach right from, right on your back porch by the pool if you want to. You could coach on the beach if you want to. There's no limitations of what you can do. Also, the benefits of starting an expert industry is the low startup cost. I mean, basically you need a cell phone, you need a computer, and you need training. That's it. I mean, other businesses cost so much money to get started. and it's relatively inexpensive to get rolling. And the other benefit is a tax benefit. So many of you, you work jobs and you don't have a business on the side to cut down on your taxes. You could start a job on the side as a coach and put your cell phone on there, put your cars on there, and other things like that, and actually have, worst case, have a business that loses money, worst case, so you're not paying so much taxes. So the other thing is the best payoff is when you look at a crowd of people and you see the lights going on in their head and say, wow, this changed my life. That's cool. And probably the last thing I would mention is when you work a job, you don't have control of your financial destiny. Your finances are in the hands of somebody else. With this, by starting a speaking, coaching, and being an author, you can take back your destiny, your financial destiny in your own hands and control how much money you make. It's sky's the limit. It's up to you on what happens. So that's the whole thing. Somebody, let me see, somebody posted down below here. What's unique about you than somebody else? So that's a fair question. Thanks for asking that. I appreciate that. Well, what's unique about me is that I teach you almost the exact opposite of what everybody else teaches and teaches you to do. Like in the speaking industry, the old school thought is, like, let's say for a church, go to a church and, get an offering and take up an offering, or if it's for business, have a speaking fee. I say, no, I teach you how not to do either one of those. Now that's not how successful people do it. I teach you how to make more money on your products than you do any kind of offering or honorarium or speaking fee you could ever get. Totally different way of concept. The coaching industry, the old way, I'm going to coach you for $800 a month. Now you're selling your time for money. We don't do that. I don't teach you to do that. I teach you to sell programs. I teach you to sell $10,000 a month programs, and how to go whale fishing instead of minnow fishing. I teach you how to go get the big minnows and how to have programs for organizations and companies. And I give you my whole coaching process and everything that you need to be able to do that. Teach you how to do it. It's a step-by-step program. All you got to do is open up the book and say, okay, here's day one. Here's what we're doing. And it's super duper easy. But I teach you to fish for whales and use that money to go bless the minnows. Don't try to build something on minnows. And then a lot of people out there, as far as teaching authors, like, oh, how many books did you sell? I don't say that. I don't sell books. I don't sell books. You saw this. I don't go to a place and sell a book. I sell a coaching experience. Inside of this has my book that's $500. It's coaching experience. I don't sell books. I use books as my business cards. I'll teach you how to do that. So there's a lot of stuff that's out there that's like old school. We're going to teach you the cutting edge stuff of how to do it. If you want to get involved and if you want me to mentor you, if there's something inside of your heart, that's what I'm saying. If there's something inside of your heart that says, I want to be a speaker, I want to be a coach, I want to be a best-selling author or just an author, I believe that desire is from God. God will give you the desires of your heart. That's your heart. Listen to your heart. Now you might say, well, how much is this going to cost? Here's what I teach. Can I coach you? If I can coach you, post yes down in the chat. I want to see this. Can I coach you for a moment? This is the biggest thing you're going to learn from me. And you're starting your coaching and your mentoring right now. Can I coach you? Come on, post down there if I can. Here's what I'm going to teach you. First, you set your intention. Intention first. See, many people want to say, how much does it cost? Then I'll decide. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. See, if you always do that, you'll always struggle and you'll never achieve your God-given destiny. You first got to set your intention. The issue is not how much does it cost. First thing I want to teach you. Because it's never about resources. It's always about maintaining a spirit of resourcefulness. Big difference. See, when you have a spirit of resourcefulness says it doesn't matter because I will figure out a way. I will figure out a way, right? That's a spirit of resourcefulness. I decide first, then the how-to will come. The how-to will come. So what I'm gonna say to you, and I know most people don't do this, but this, I'm gonna tell you that if you want to connect with me, this is your first test. Will you set intention? The issue's not money. And the reason why you're where you're at today is because in your head it's always money. That's why you're not where you should be. You can I be honest with you? You're bound by the spirit of mammon. Because you're letting money control your decisions. That's the spirit of mammon. Set your intention. I want to do this. Okay. That's the first thing. You decide you want to do it. Then the how-to will come. So here's what I want you to do. I don't want you to leave this time together, but I want you to make a commitment right now to going over to 83kacademy.com, and you're just going to put in your name, you're going to put in your information, and in the application, it's just going to ask you, a couple questions about do you want me to coach you? Why do you want mentoring? It's just going to ask you, do you really want to be an author, speaker, coach? There are a couple simple questions that we want to ask. We're going to look at those. And what I'm going to ask you right now is to make a commitment by posting yes in the chat. That's your first step. Do you want to do this? Post yes in the chat right now. I'm looking to see. Post yes in the chat. I'm watching. Here we come. Here you come. If you want to do it, post yes in the chat. Okay. Yep, it's time. That's right. Okay, a lot of you are doing that. Good job. Good job. So now the next thing is, now that you've moved towards that, now go fill out the application. And then here's what's going to happen. When you fill out the application, right, 83kacademy.com, you're going to fill in your information. And then it's going to take you to a page. And on that page, there's going to be a link. It's going to tell a little bit about the program. Some of the stuff I showed you here, all the bonuses and all that kind of stuff. And then it's going to have a little link. It's going to click on to book a time to talk with Coach Sherry. So Coach Sherry is going to call you. We're going to get the applications in. We're going to be talking about them right away. And then Coach Sherry is going to call you, and then she's going to have a discussion with you and go over the dates of the start of the school, what's going on, the cost. She's going to go over all of that. And we're committed to helping you make this happen if that's your heart desire. That's our heart desire, to help you to make it a reality. So that's our process. And now the ball's in your court. And what I've learned over the years is I set my attention and I take thing that I can take it as far as I can take it, and leave the rest to God showing me step by step. So thank you.